Fine, just enjoying the curfew. Do you know what curfew is?
Sorry, teacher?
Do you know what curfew is?
No.
Curfew is when you have to stay inside your house
Ah, yeah.
because it's an obligation by the government.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I
Well,
have
yeah,
to.
just trying to use my time wisely while on the curfew.
Yes. Yes,
how
studying and studying.
how are the cats?
Oh, they are sleeping. Yeah. In Pasto, the weather is so hot today.
Yeah, where is the place where you live? Where do you live?
I live in Pasto, Nariño.
So is it hot there?
No, the weather is cold, but uh, today it is hot.
Yeah, okay. So we have for today a grammar topic. I don't know if you know something about it. Do you know something about the topic of today?
Not teacher.
Okay, let me show you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So today we are going to use a couple concepts or a couple expressions in grammar that are useful for expressing regret or that we would like something to be different in our present or in the past. Do you know the word regret?
Yes.
Okay. And desire?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Then these expressions that we have are for expressing that kind of feelings, desires and regrets. As you can see, these two memes here, I put one that say, if only I hadn't eaten all those empanadas. Like the typical question of people after December.
Yes. And the
And the
diet.
other one is, it's, I wish my neighbors would stop partying every night. And it's the little Yeti that can't sleep. Have
Okay.
you had any situation like this in the past?
No, 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 no.
Okay,
I,
is there something that you regret?
uh,
Not
something?
buying more cats, huh?
Yes, for example, I would like, but I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. Then I
Yeah,
don't
so
want.
if it was for you, you would have like 100 cats.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I adopt many uh, animals.
Great. Yeah, that's a very nice thing to do. Many people that I admire do the same. They just love animals. They feel sad if they see abandoned animals in the streets or in the countryside, so they try to adopt or find a home for them with people they know are good. All right, so we are going to continue with this. Let me see. So wish and if only. These are used to talk about things we would like to be different in the present or in the past. We already talked about that, so we are going to see the structure of this concept. The first thing you gotta put is the subject. The subject can be any that you prefer. So you can say I, she, he, or as in the example, Carmenza wishes Marcela lived closer. Then subject, wish in the present form. That means if we have he, she, or it in the first place, wish is transformed into wishes, right? As we see here, Carmenza wishes. All right. Then a full sentence in past. As we see here, Marcela lived closer is a full sentence in the past because it has subject, verb in past, and complement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Full center in past. Yeah.
This is for expressing that we wish a situation to be different in the present, in our present. Yes. So it's funny, but even though we are talking about the present, we need to use the past. This grammar, the grammar inventors were crazy. I can't blame the students who can't understand these rules. It's quite crazy. Yeah, like if you want to talk about your present situation, use the past. Ha ha. Oh my God.
For that reason,
Uh,
sometimes
yes.
uh, I I can understand when read some book.
Yeah.
I am confused with that. Yeah.
Yeah, no
Okay.
worries. These grammar concepts are only like for general information. What you need to keep in mind is that in the regular life, in your daily life, when you are trying to communicate with people, they are not going to ask you about the names of the grammar concepts. So what you do, what you have to do is basically imitate. Imitate what you hear, imitate what you listen to. As long as you do that, you will be okay. Now, for a present situation, but this time using if only, is the same. It's just that we do not put a subject in the first place. We put if only in the first place. So we say if only and a full sentence in the past. For example, if only Enrique listened to me. Enrique was another student that was signed for this class today, but I guess he couldn't come. I always try to use the names of my students in the class preparation because that way it's like you feel more involved in the class.
Yes.
I always have to try that and see if the memory works for my students. So check this out. If only Enrique listened to me. This part, Enrique listened to me, is the past sentence, is the full sentence in past. Enrique is the subject, listened is the action in past, and to me is the complement. If only goes in the first part. If only Enrique listened to me. That means in the present moment, Enrique doesn't listen to me. Yes. So I would like Enrique to listen to me right now, but he doesn't. So I express my wish, my desire, saying, if only Enrique listened to me. Do you have any questions until that moment?
No, that is clear.
Okay, let's continue then. Don't forget that we can also use these concepts with negative sentences. Okay, so we can say, Xiomara wishes I didn't use her phone for playing. So if you see here, we have a negative sentence in the past. We have subject, wish, and then I didn't use her phone for playing. It's a full sentence in the past. I didn't use her phone for playing. Now, if only Marcela's cat didn't try to escape when I opened the door. You see, I remember your cat, huh?
Yes.
Who can forget a cat who disconnected the computer in the middle of a class? Nobody.
But now they are sleeping. Don't worry.
Well, it's okay. He was just trying to learn some English with her mama. All right, so then if you see here, we are using wish and if only. After that, we use the past sentence or the sentence in past, but using the negative structure. Didn't use, didn't try. Yes. So that way we justify that wish and if only can be used with negative sentences. In this example, we have the past sentence is in affirmative. Enrique listened to me. Yes, Enrique listened to me. And in the other, we use didn't and the verb. Didn't use, didn't try. So this way we can express things that are not happening in the present that we would like to happen. And with this negative, we can say things that are not happening, that are happening in the moment, and we wish they didn't happen at the moment. Now, for past situations, we need a very similar structure, but this time instead of a past sentence, we use a sentence in past perfect. Do you remember what past perfect or perfect tense is about?
Yes, teacher. Has a past has
Yes,
the action started in the past but is continued at the moment.
yes, correct. So the perfect tenses are characterized by the use of have and then the participle of the verb. In this place, we can see had, that's have, but in past, and then the participle of the verb. Arrive is a regular verb which forms past and past participle with ed. That's why we see the ed here, and we are
Yes.
using the past of have, which is had. Yes. So Xiomara wishes Enrique hadn't arrived so late to the meeting. In this case, that already happened. It's a past situation. Enrique arrived late to the
Right.
meeting. Yes. So Xiomara wishes he hadn't. Then we use the subject wish, in this case wishes, and the full sentence in past perfect. The past perfect is easy in the first part because all the subjects have this word, had arrived, had learned, had studied, had thought, everybody.
Yes,
In
teacher.
this case, we are putting it in a negative way, hadn't. We can also say had not. But when we are speaking, it's more common to see people saying the contracted forms of the verbs. So when they speak, they say hadn't, don't, doesn't. When it's written, I mean, when they write, they normally avoid contractions. So they say Enrique had not arrived so late.
Okay.
Let's move on for passage, but in this case, if only. If only goes in the beginning of the sentence again, and then we put the full sentence in past perfect. For example, if only we had met before the trip. Si tan solo nos hubiéramos reunido antes del viaje. A desire that something that happened would have happened in a different way. If only we had met before the trip. Met is the past participle of meet, which is when people get together. That's why they say meet.
Meet.
Okay. Then let's continue. Once again, we can use this concept with negative sentences. Now, okay, this part is very easy. It's just something that we might not understand when we are learning, and it's that these forms of desire and regret need the verb to be in the past form where for every pronoun, he, she, it, even I, go with where. What do I the following? I wish I were there to help. Normally, we say I was, right?
Yes.
But in the expression of desires or regrets, we need to use were for everybody. In this case, she wishes her boyfriend were less flirty. Do you know what flirty is?
No. Exactly.
Okay, flirty is when a person um, kinds of play with words or plays with looks to attract other person, to attract another
Yeah.
person. So flirty is, for example, the boyfriend who is with his girlfriend, and he's looking at other girls trying to conquer them. Like, hey, I'm here, look at me. Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
that's a very
Yes.
big problem in relationships when one of them is flirty, the other says, "Why were you looking at that girl? Why were you talking to that boy?" Right? So flirty is when you try to attract another person to like you. Okay, so in this case, we express that her desire is that her boyfriend were less. That means menos flirty. Okay. If you see, her boyfriend is he, a man, but we use the word were. Sabemos por las reglas de la gramática que el pasado del verbo to be para I, he, she, it es was. Y para los demás es were. Pero en el caso de la expresión de deseos y anhelos, se utiliza were para todos. Entonces, en el caso de I wish I were there to help you, uno diría, ve, y ese were, ¿por qué si el were es para plurales o para el you? Pues sí, en este caso se tiene que utilizar porque es un caso de subjuntivo, así se llama gramaticalmente. El subjuntivo es para expresar deseos y remordimientos y se utiliza esta forma del verbo to be. ¿Listo? Entonces, cuando veas ese tipo de estructura, no te asustes, no está incorrecto, es solamente que así se utiliza en esta parte. Okay, let's go back to English now. For annoying situations, do you know what annoying means?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, can you tell me something that makes you feel annoyed?
Uh, for example, the noise.
Mhm.
The noise when you are studying. The noise when you are talking. Or the noise when you are watching TV.
Yes, correct. There's nothing more annoying than a person talking when you are at the cinema. You're like, hey, if you enter to the movie, you were supposed to watch the movie. If you needed to go to a cafeteria, god damn it.
Yes.
So yes, that's one of the most annoying things. In this part, we are going to use again the subject and wish. Of course, if the subject is she or he, we use wishes, and then a full sentence with would or wouldn't. For these situations, the normal perception is that the other person or the situation is not going to change. I mean, you wish that guy wouldn't use his cell phone during the movie, but you know that guy might use his cell phone again and again during the movie. So when you know the situation has a possibility not to change, it's possible that you use this structure. So when we are pessimistic about the situation that is not going to change, we normally use this structure. So I wish that guy wouldn't use his cell phone during the movie. I am expressing the desire, and then the subject, then the word would or wouldn't, and the action and the complement in the sentence. Do you have any questions so far?
Mm, wait me a moment. Yeah, I'm thinking. I wish that that we wouldn't use this phone. No, teacher. I think I understand.
Great. You're a fast learner. Okay, let's continue. What would you like? This is a little or a practice. What would you like to be different in your life right now?
Right now,
Yeah,
I wish, teacher. I wish that people will uh, adopt adopt medidas,
yeah, measures.
ensure to protect health them and
Hmm.
the environment.
Okay, very good. So remember that you have to use the past. In this case, we say, I wish people adopted.
Adopted, yes, sorry,
Yes, sorry.
adopted.
When the words, when the actions end in T, as in uh, time, or D, as in David, you need to pronounce the E when they are in past. For example, want, wanted, end, ended, adopt, adopted. Yes? So when they are in past and they are regular, you can pronounce the E of Ted, dead. Yes? Don't be afraid to say it, it's correct.
Yeah, okay, teacher.
Do
In
you?
that sentence, no, don't apply the tree form for annoying situation
For
or
annoying? Yeah, if it annoys you, you can also say, I wish they would adopt more animals. Yeah, so in this case, the would is marking the past. So you can say in two forms. I wish they would adopt more animals, or I wish they adopted more animals.
okay, teacher.
Yeah, you got the difference?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay,
And
very good.
the past and the good is the mark of the past in the tip.
Correct.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. The cat is in the house.
Yes. Get off the cat.
No worries. I actually love him. Look at this. I
Yes.
remember this little cat when we when we were watching, I think it was Shrek, and or the Puss in Boots, and yeah, he was like fighting a cat, and then when the fight was about to explode, this guy came out like saying,
Yes.
uy, se están diciendo de todo, So the challenge is to pass quiz one and quiz two with at least 60% each. I'm gonna share with you the screen of the test, and I will not help you. I will not
Fine.
explain anything. I will just let you read the question, choose your answer, and explain, if you want, more or less why you are choosing what you choose. Does that sound okay for you?
Okay, teacher.
All right, let's go. So I'm gonna put the test. This is the grammar test one, and let's see how this score does. First question. Can you see it properly or shall I zoom it?
That is good, teacher. Don't worry. I have my glasses.
Okay.
Mm, didn't have a be teacher because that is a present situation.
Okay, so this
Mm,
didn't have to. Okay, so it's for a present situation, you say. Got it. So next question.
if only she don't speak to me. Regret. Hadn't said
Okay, very interesting. Why did you choose that?
because that is a situation in the past.
Mm-hmm. Excellent explanation. You're doing just fine. Yeah, for real. I mean it. It's the perfect explanation. We know that when it's in past, we need to use the perfect form of the verb. So, wow, I'm impressed. Your learning is really fast. Okay, let's move on to the third.
He wishes. Mm, he wishes they wouldn't leave the kitchen in such a mess. He always has to clean before he cook. That is a situation express annoying. Then I think that is the fears.
Wow, very good. Okay, the next.
He wishes they had meat because it's a situation as. Wait, teacher. Wait a moment.
No problem. Just relax and think.
Mm, had meat, the tear.
The third, okay. How do you pronounce this word?
Met.
Met, correct. So had met. Okay. Sounds like an Arab name. My name is Hadmet Abdul Jabbar. I'm from Egypt. Suena como árabe. Hadmet. Ok. Perdón por mis chistes flojos ya.
I'm worried. If only he If only he were here now, he'd know what to do. The dear teacher.
Wow. Am I a good teacher or you're a super student? But this was the most difficult question in my opinion. Very good.
I wish I had brought the second had brought because it's a situation in the past he didn't buy the umbrella.
Okay. He didn't what? Buy?
Buy? Yes.
Nah, bring.
Ah, yes, but
Yeah.
yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. Because
Bring,
it's very
brought,
similar. Yeah,
yes,
it's very similar. Bring and buy in the past they look really similar. Just bring has the R, brought, but buy is booked without the R. So no worries. I can't blame you for making that very little mistake. So had brought. Okay, let's continue.
I'm starving elfly there. Okay, had been, had been.
If only there had been a restaurant. Remember that there, the word there, combines with the verb to be to say hay o haya o había, o, ¿cierto? Entonces, yo sé que te puede estar confundiendo con lo del were para todos, pero en este caso el there was, there were aplica como siempre lo hemos conocido. ¿Te suena de pronto otra? ¿Tú habías dicho esta?
Yo dije esa.
Ok.
If only
Mira,
there was where. To tell me, teacher.
entonces digamos que vamos a tratarla de entender con tu opción. ¿Listo? Trata de poner tu opción ahí en el espacio en blanco y léela en inglés a ver si te suena correcto.
I'm starving. Only there had been a restaurant open now. No,
¿Qué tal?
cierto, no.
Suena raro, ¿cierto?
Me faltaría como un verbo después del be. Del be. Otra
Entonces
cosa.
tenemos estas otras dos opciones. ¿Cuál te aplica más?
I'm starving if only there was there a restaurant open now will be.
Sabemos que es una situación presente que queremos que fuera diferente. Para eso, la
Well,
estructura era el pasado, ¿cierto?
yes.
¿Cuál es el pasado ahí?
Was.
Yep. Ok.
I wish people wouldn't have played loud music on the train. What's wrong with using headphones?
Okay, so you say it's the third one. Wouldn't have
No, no,
played.
no, no. Mentira.
Mentirosa. Sí,
The fears.
the first. Okay, so wouldn't play loud music. Last word, última palabra. Okay, so let's finish the quiz and see how much you got. It's 100%. Woo-woo!
Very good.
Excellent. Now we are going to try the last quiz, which is kind of a little bit more difficult, but no big deal for a super student like you.
If only they. They ask teacher the deer.
The third, okay. Totally sure?
What teacher?
Totally sure. Last word, última palabra.
What situation?
A veces lo pregunto
Mentira,
solo por,
mentira.
a veces lo pregunto solo por molestarte, no
No,
necesariamente porque la tengas
but,
mala.
but you are, had ask. Sorry, teacher.
Okay, what made you change your opinion?
They before we start to play. Yes, because the that is in the past.
Mhm. Yeah, so you mean here in the word started,
Yes.
it's already in the past, so we need the perfect form, right? Because it's a past situation.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Here you see that they are trying to confuse the the test taker with a present form, but actually the structure we need to focus on is this. This is the one that it's out of the blue area is just a complement, but the one we gotta pay attention to make this decision is the blue area. So I think you're pretty accurate on your choice right now. Second,
Hmm. He wishes he could travel back in time and visit ancient Rome. Could travel back in time and visit ancient Rome. Back in time. Could travel, teacher?
could travel. The second one.
Yes.
Okay, let's continue.
She. I wish she wouldn't leave her shoes there. I am always falling over them.
The first one then.
Yes, teacher.
I wish she wouldn't leave her shoes there. I'm always falling over them. That sometimes happen when you live with many people in the same house.
Yes.
I have two brothers, my dad and my mom, and when we were little, that was a big problem. Imagine three boys with all their mess all over the floor. It was a disaster.
Yes.
We always miss the girl because I don't know, it's not being like feminist or anything, but women have a lot to teach men about organization and tidiness.
Yes.
It could be culture or not, but women are a lot more organized than men. So yeah, it's something we have to learn from you.
Maybe because we have to clean the house.
Yeah, well, in my house, there were only men, and my mom is a nurse. She was working all day, so if the house was dirty, the men have to clean. That's why I always do the dishes, I mop and I sweep in my house. I don't think, house chores are for women. They are for everybody. It's just that men are lazy and sometimes they find a perfect excuse to tell women to do it, but that has to be for everybody in fair quantity.
Yeah, that's right.
Down with men. Now let's move on to the next. The
Tra-
traffic on the roads was terrible. I wish we. Mhm. the train instead. If you don't know any of the words on the line, you can ask me.
Sorry, teacher, repeat, please.
That if maybe you read a word that you don't understand, you can ask me for the meaning.
Okay, teacher. Mm, mm, had cow.
I wish
Yes,
we
the
had
two.
caught the train instead.
The traffic on the roads was terrible. I wish we had cow
Cocked, yeah.
train
So
instead.
the last one.
Yes,
Okay, you are choosing it because,
because that is a situation in the past because they traveled in other
yeah, in another media.
in other yes, what I mean.
All right, what about this one?
I'm not it again. I'm saying it again. I wish you the tear.
The third. Very good.
Please, but
Next,
if only I
remember this word off with double F is free from work. So off work is out of work, free of working. Yes.
día libre. If only I could take the time of work. Come with you.
I'm just kidding.
Visit you. Could take. Mentira.
No? Okay.
If I only yes, in the past could take the first teacher.
All right. Yeah, because it's changing a present situation, right? And it's not annoying. It's just a
Uh-huh.
present situation that I can change. Let's continue. I'm so tired. I
I
wish I home earlier last night.
had gone.
I
Uh,
had gone home earlier last night. Okay, let's continue. The
we're,
last one.
we're having such a lovely time in Scotland. If only it hadn't rained, had rained, didn't rain, didn't rain.
If only it didn't rain all the time, though.
It's because they are in Scotland in that moment. Yes,
So it didn't rain. Yeah. So you are basing your choice here because they are in the present. So we
yes,
need to aim for the past, right?
yes, teacher.
Very, very interesting. Let's see how much you get. Dun, 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 trrrr, ding. Dun, 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 100. Yes.
Ah, good.
And I wasn't helping you. I didn't help you. That's a really, really good result for you. Let me tell you, you have a bright future in English. Believe me. If you continue like this, you are going to be the master of masters.
Thank you,
This
teacher.
was this was a really tricky one. We are having such a lovely time in Scotland. If only it I was actually thinking hadn't rained was the answer, but then when you explained the thing about the president, I was like, oh yeah, she's right. So very good. The student overcame the master, huh?
Now, teacher, I have to improve so much. You have a good level.
Well,
Excellent.
I try to do my best. I'm a teacher in a school, in a high school, and I was teaching there during 8 years in the high school, but now I decided to move to primary school, so I'm teaching to kids in third grade. It's a challenge because they are very naughty. They are all over the place, jumping and making noise and all that. But I think it's a challenge for me as a person to have a different population. So I all the time challenging myself to be better. The only problem for teachers is that whenever we teach a specific grade, let's say sixth grade, for many years, we start forgetting the rest of the content of the language, and we like limit our practice of English to those topics, to the specific topics of our class. So what we gotta do as teachers is try to look for opportunities to practice different kinds of structures, different types of conversations all the time, so we are not stuck in the middle of our classes.
That is great. Yes.
So whenever you are, like giving your classes, remember, do not uh, forget about yourself. Do not forget about practicing to take your English to the next level. If you don't forget that your English is going to be better every day, and that way you can help others to be better too.
Yes. That's a good idea, teacher, because sometimes we forget. Oh,
Yeah, I have seen many colleagues that forget about all the things they learned at the university, and the only topics they control and they manage properly is the topics they are teaching to their students. And they are really good at that. They are really good at managing the discipline in the classroom and all. But when it's about the English, they start forgetting many things. Okay, Marce, I think we are about to finish the class. I really want to thank you for coming and always being so punctual to the classes. 60% was very little for you. You are 100% student, so congratulations. Just keep it up. Yeah, thank you for coming, and I'll
thank you.
see you next time.
Okay, teacher, I will subscribe. Teacher, profe, ¿cuándo envían esas cositas al correo?
Hola ahí para que me conozcas.
Ay, yo estoy despeinada.
No, no te preocupes, solo que casi siempre es como lo que, como hablándolo en una pantalla y sin humanidad, pues, por eso
Sí.
ahí queríamos sacar. Camisilla de cuarentena, ni modo. Pues no, las grabaciones de la clase te quedan aquí en el chat de la,
Sí, pero
del
cuando
Skype.
envían para inscribirse uno es que no, o sea, yo realmente es porque he mirado el correo, pero a veces se me pasa a mirar y pues no me puedo inscribir. Pero,
Dale, pues yo creo que eso lo están publicando cada semana los miércoles como al mediodía. Publican las listas. eh, pero no sabría decirte porque a mí solo me llega el formato con los estudiantes que se inscribieron.
ya,
Entonces, tienes que estar pendiente de tus cursos y así como te inscribiste para estar pendiente eh, los miércoles. Entonces,
ya,
digamos que este miércoles tienes el horario de la próxima semana y los que se inscribieron la semana anterior desde el miércoles tienen la clase toda esta semana entrante. Es como 15 días de ventaja.
ya. Entonces ya no me escribí. Vale,
Igual, mira, yo voy a estar dando las clases esta próxima semana, creo que en días diferentes, porque como estuve pendiente de lo de la cuarentena, modifico un poco los horarios para que no sea siempre en el weekend. Pero si algo y voy a dar una clase y tú estás por ahí conectada, yo te escribo y mira, voy a dar una clase de tal cosa ahorita y si te quieres pegar de una.
vale, vale. Y el fin de semana, profe, porque yo sí tengo que trabajar.
Dale, perfecto. ¿Y qué haces?
Yo trabajo en atención al usuario en un hospital.
Ah, pues bueno, mi aplauso.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas
Sí,
gracias a ti por estar poniendo de tu parte para ayudar a los demás. Eso es muy bonito.
sí, yo trabajo en el hospital infantil. Y bueno,
Todavía más. Dios.
sí, estamos esperando a ver cómo va la situación. Un poco preocupados porque no tenemos como los recursos, pero bueno, poniendo todo de parte, que es lo importante.
Dale, vamos con todo. Yo sé que vamos a salir adelante con toda esta situación y pues nada, un abrazo y mis felicitaciones.
Ay, muchas gracias. Con que
Dale,
nos apoyen con la cuarentena vamos bien, que sigamos la
claro,
recomendación.
claro. La
Vale,
responsabilidad de quedarse en la casa, yo creo que y es irrefutable. Cualquiera que quiera buscar una excusa para salir está como decimos los paisas, meando fuera del coco.
fuera del tiesto, diga. Vale, entonces, pues yo realmente me conecto a Skype específicamente porque voy a ir a la clase.
Dale.
Si no, no,
Lo que voy a hacer
no.
es, voy a mirar mis horarios de esta próxima semana y te voy a pasar una listica de las clases para que mires a ver en cuál te quieres meter. No hay problema si no te inscribiste. Yo no voy a decir, ay, sí, se me da, ay. Tranquila,
Ah,
todo
vale,
lo que pueda ayudar con esto de una.
agradecería. Vale, le agradezco mucho. Muchísimas
Dale.
gracias. Muy amable, he aprendido mucho y como le dije, creo que usted tiene un gran nivel, habla muy bien. Y eso fue lo que me motivó desde la primera vez, por eso cuando lo miré, y pues también por el horario, bueno, con el profe, porque
Muchísimas
pues,
gracias,
me
Marce.
guste hablar porque parece que yo no expresara bien, pero yo sé que uno mejora cuando tiene buenos profesores y escucha a alguien que pronuncie bien.
Claro, no, mira, tú tienes una capacidad tremenda de aprendizaje. Me sorprende porque hay muchos estudiantes y créeme que conozco montones. O sea, yo tengo más de 10 años de experiencia enseñando y conozco montones de actitudes frente al aprendizaje y tú eres una aprendiz rápido. O sea, tú tienes, las coges en el aire y eso es muy bacano porque uno no se tiene que detener en reexplicar algo, sino que simplemente mueve, mueve y avanza. Yo hasta estaba preocupado de que no nos diera el tiempo para, digamos, como nos iba a quedar demasiado tiempo libre, pero bueno, mira, acabé por diseñar una clase exactamente de una hora para que pudieras desarrollarla. Pero sí, la verdad eres increíblemente rápida para aprender. Sigue así, esa motivación es lo más importante para uno avanzar en un idioma, la motivación y la disciplina, y tú tienes las dos.
Muchas gracias, profe. Me falta la disciplina, pero
Para
muchas
nada,
gracias.
yo tengo un montón de estudiantes inscritos. Para este había 4 estudiantes. ¿Y quién se presentó? La disciplina.
Ah, no, bueno, trato cuando tengo tiempo de aprovechar. En semana es como complicado, pero bueno,
Pues dale, yo
muchísimas
voy a
gracias.
estar teniéndose en cuenta para los próximos horarios para que te puedas seguir pegando a las clases.
Listo, profe, muy amable, muchas gracias. Que pase muy
Dale,
bien.
cuídate mucho, un abrazo.
Igualmente, un abrazo, se cuida.